Welcome, Tough Men of Faith. Nick, let's jump right into it.
Hold on a second. Slow down.
You're
Just
just
say one thing that throws you off guard.
well. You said you bought Rachel flowers,
Yes.
and then what threw me off guard is that you said just because.
Yeah,
That's not true.
it is. I didn't do anything wrong. I just,
Just thought.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure I've done stuff wrong.
Yeah,
But,
you have.
I haven't been caught for doing anything wrong, so I
Were
just
you?
bought her flowers.
But you were hunting this weekend. Were you sitting in the deer stand sending flowers?
I was, yeah. Yeah.
Were you really?
Yeah, dude, my email was working. Yeah, my email was working, and I had good signal, and
So you just got online.
I just got online, and I saw the perfect bouquet that just said, you know what, this is less beautiful than my wife is, but it will measure up, and I sent it to her.
Do you write stuff in a card like when you?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I don't.
You don't want to know
No,
what I wrote?
no. I don't want to know.
I actually feel bad for the little lady that had to type it up. I'm sure she was sitting there saying, "Oh no, how do I do this?" But, yep.
Well,
I think it was along the lines of like
nope.
something
You,
like,
you don't even need to say anymore.
"If I don't shoot the big buck this weekend,
Nope.
I'm coming home for my dough" or something.
Okay.
Yeah. It was good.
So, well, that leads to the next question.
Extremely cheesy.
Yeah. The next question is like, so you went hunting this weekend.
Well, I didn't actually go hunting.
You were sitting in a deer stand.
Yeah, but see, I go to a hunting camp, and all my friends hunt. I carry a camera.
I think you're lying. Did you have a?
I had a gun with me.
You had a gun with
but the big trophy.
You have a deer license.
Yeah. The big trophy didn't walk out, so I took pictures of all of his little girlfriends. That's all I saw.
No, you didn't even take a shot.
Nope.
Are you telling the truth?
Yep. I didn't take a shot. Yeah. I know. I don't think I've shot my gun hunting in the last couple of years. Not for deer.
We went squirrel hunting. You shot.
Oh yeah, I shot a bunch.
You shot a lot.
Yeah, those things move fast.
They do.
Yeah.
They do.
I need to practice. I need to sit still when I
Yeah.
go squirrel hunting. You like to walk around.
I can't sit still.
I know.
Ever.
And that's why we don't shoot many squirrels.
But we get some exercise, have a lot of fun, and
Yeah.
end up shooting a lot of cans or something.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Yeah.
we shoot
Shoot,
some.
shoot near your brother-in-law so he jumps, opposite direction, but near him.
Yeah.
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 You didn't really like that brother-in-law anyway. It's okay.
Well, I mean, I don't mind him, but
Okay.
if he's here, he's here. If he's not,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Right.
I appreciate him.
Yeah.
He doesn't listen, so I can say what I want.
Yeah.
Actually, he may listen to this, so
I doubt it.
I don't know. I'll find out now.
Yeah.
Um,
So anyway, yeah, I do go hunting. I don't shoot anything.
yeah.
just
I,
take lots
I
of
know you
pictures.
occasionally shoot. I just never,
Yeah.
since I've known you, I've never really known you to get anything.
Right. Yes, because
Yeah.
I don't even shoot my gun when I go. The big trophy just doesn't walk out in front of me.
So today on Tough Men of Faith,
Yeah.
you'll notice it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
We've been having guests like crazy,
I know.
which has been good.
I know. It's like nobody signed up for today, so here we are by ourselves.
Well,
again.
I thought it'd be good if we could just record one.
Okay.
I heard some people that just wanting to hear from the talent, which is you, and not a
Yeah,
guest.
it's
So
something.
they's like, hey, we know you've had people like the mayor and these other people. And
Yeah, the mayor one was fun.
that was fun. They've all been this
Yeah,
is a
yeah,
blast.
they have been. You're right.
I know, like we had firefighters the last two, like
Yeah.
retired firefighters.
Right.
Wasn't even
Need
playing.
to get some real men in here and get some cops or something. Just kidding, guys.
Well,
Yeah. They won't come back on.
nope. You're gonna have to start booking the guests.
Yeah,
'cause
right.
If you keep offending every guest
Yeah.
I bring in here.
They'll be okay. So what are we talking about today?
Yeah. So today I thought it's just two of us.
Yep.
We'll just jump back into 5 things I learned this week.
Okay.
Remember we did this
Oh, yeah, it was fun.
a few months ago. Mm-hmm. So I think I mentioned then that I keep a notes section on my phone.
Okay.
So if I'm reading something, sticks out in the book or in a blog or something I'm reading, or if I
Yeah.
hear something on a podcast or something on X,
Yeah.
formerly Twitter,
Yep.
I just kind of write it down.
Okay.
So I just grab 5 things.
All right, that's easy.
It's easy.
Yeah.
So we'll just talk about those and jump through it.
Okay. What you got?
Number 1, a little bit of a different one. I was reading this guy that I think it was a sermon turned into a blog or something. I can't even remember who wrote it. I just remember the thought process.
So no credit being given today.
Yeah, because I can't even remember. And
Right.
it's not a new idea. Like it's
Okay.
like, so, but he was talking about the story of the prodigal son.
Okay.
And so what he mentioned in that story is that the son, he doesn't all of a sudden like turn and like love the father.
Right.
Or like a renewed love for the father, I think is the way he said it. But he just wanted to survive. So
Yeah.
he runs out of money. He's starving because he's out of food. He's eating the pig's food. If you remember that story, he's
Oh,
like
yeah.
eating the pig's food and all that. It's just bad. And all of a sudden he's like, hey, I need to go home because there's food there and I have a place to sleep.
Yep.
It doesn't say, I need to go home because I really hurt my father. I really love my father.
Right.
It's like, No, things are bad.
No, it's still self-serving.
I'm going to go home. Right. But then the father is perfectly fine with him coming home.
Right.
I mean, I don't know why. It was just like this new like light bulb moment.
You just have like
for
a
me.
huge revelation.
It went off for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Wait a
so
minute.
in my life, like
God's like that.
it's
He's
a
waiting
picture
for us to
of
come
God.
home.
Even
with-
if it's because life sucks so
Right,
bad.
yeah.
And that's why I'm like, man, when I was walking with Jesus, things were were a lot better.
Yep.
And I miss my relationship with him, but I really hate how bad it is right now when I'm living in the sin.
Yeah.
I want to go back to that because it's so bad.
Right.
Jesus, like, come on back.
Yeah.
Right? It's not that I had this great renewed love for him, which I should.
Right.
But it may be because I find myself in such this bad situation.
Yep. Exactly.
And so it's like, I'm turning and running back. And then he just sits there with open arms.
Yeah.
But then what I found interesting about that is like, as a father myself, if my kids go out and they do some stupid stuff, they leave the house, they run away, and they find themselves in all kinds of crap.
Right.
I don't care if one day they show back up home,
You're right.
and it's because they
Kicking
thought,
them out. Get out of here, kids.
right? If they came home because they thought, man, I really hurt my dad and mom. I love them so much. I just want to go back home and tell them I'm sorry and have my relationship with them, and I'm
Yeah.
going to embrace them. That's going to happen. Or if they come back home because, hey, I almost overdosed. I got pregnant.
Right.
I messed up. I broke the law. I'm paying for this stuff. And life's just so bad. I want to come back home.
Yeah.
Man, I'm opening my arms because
Right.
I'm just glad my child's home.
Yeah.
And so that's how our Heavenly Father is.
Right.
So I think so many times people don't turn and go back to the Father because they think, I'm not a good person.
Right, for
but
sure.
life sucks.
Yeah.
And so God's
okay,
like,
okay. Sorry.
if life sucks for you,
Yep.
go back to the Father, and He's still going to take you.
Right.
Even if that's what's driving you.
Yeah, don't let your shame get in the way of that.
Yeah. So just come home,
Yeah.
right? So that's the message. So
Right.
wherever you're at, come home. So for me, this really spoke to me because even as a pastor, I sin. I'm probably sin more than anybody else in this room.
Yeah, most likely.
And so with that, like,
Hold on a second. We're going to start looking for a new pastor.
man, if you put a video right here behind me and showed all my sins, I would be the chief of sinners here.
I don't think so.
I
bet
think so.
90% of it will be you doing more than 90 miles an hour.
Well, that's a sin in itself, but
Okay.
then those flashing lights behind you, you speed up to 120, it makes it even worse, right?
I can't go 120.
But yeah, so I learned that.
This is why we don't have cops on here.
That's true.
Okay.
That's true. Yeah, but that's something I learned this week. Like the prodigal son, like, man, it's bad. I need to go home. The father's like, come on home.
Yeah.
And so that's how the father is with us.
Yep.
Yep, that's one thing. These things are really random. Like they don't go together, right?
All right, good.
Number 2, your phone can be either a great tool or a great distraction.
My phone?
Yeah, your phone.
Okay.
Anybody's phone.
Oh, yeah.
It can be a great tool or a great distraction.
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot about how phones are like.
I was just talking
The
about this
negative.
before we started.
You were.
today.
You're complaining about millennials and their
I
phones.
work with a millennial, and
You are a millennial.
I work with a way younger one.
Okay.
I was 19 when he was born. Now he's 19. It's
Yeah.
weird, man. The phone, they're just stuck to him all the time.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's-
Like,
it's-
but probably stuck to him what you're saying with this guy would be like on social media or
yeah. I'm sure he's doing reels or videos,
Reels,
or,
videos.
talking to his friends and Snapchatting and all that.
Yeah, so your
Just-
phone can do those.
Oh,
like, huge distraction. So he's
Right.
probably supposed to be working,
Yeah.
and instead he's on his phone.
Yeah,
right?
not.
So, not.
So
So that's,
watching me.
yeah. So
Just
that's,
kidding, Coop. Just kidding, man.
So that's hurting.
Yeah, I don't want to call him out, but
Yeah, well, I think it's a generation,
I think it is a generation thing.
but even something I struggle with. Like,
Yeah.
my phone can be a big distraction.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can waste a lot of time on social
well, it's like I
media.
look back at my dad, and he was flip phone until you couldn't get a flip phone and have GPS. And he's like, oh, now I have to get one of those stupid smartphones. And
Yeah.
then we had to program it for him. And then he wouldn't set up an Apple ID, and he was not putting a credit card on there. I mean, they're
Yeah.
not getting my information. And just to go from his generation to, say, my generation, where everything's perfectly normal, to, a generation, the next generation, and it's crazy to see that, we didn't always have them.
Yeah.
So we weren't always on them. And then now this generation's always had them.
But I think here's
So-
where I would say the opposite is true, though, is like our phones can help us and be a great tool.
For sure.
So you can be a lot more productive at work because you have a phone. Like
Right.
even as a contractor,
Yeah.
you don't have to wait for your pager to go off to
Yeah.
go call someone.
then go
figure
find a
out
payphone and-
find out where the supplies aren't there
Right.
yet, right? You're on the phone.
Yeah.
So our phones
Yeah.
can be a great tool
Yeah.
as well.
Yep.
So
Yeah, they can be a great distraction, but they can be a great tool.
yeah, and you get to choose.
And and you have to and learn how to manage that.
Yeah.
Um,
So with the tool though, like obviously work is revolutionized because of phones.
Right.
But even with your spiritual walk, like you can download a Bible memory app,
yeah.
and when you're sitting there in your downtime, instead of scrolling through reels, unless it's a Tough Men of Faith reel, then make sure you look at that. You can
Yeah.
have that Bible memory app
Right.
memorizing scripture during that time.
Yeah.
Or reading.
Right.
Or listen to a great podcast,
Right.
Tough Men of Faith.
Nice plugs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hate plugging it.
Do you?
Oh, yeah. But
Huh.
Blake keeps yelling at us to plug it more. And
So here we are.
so your
Here
phone.
you are.
Here I am. Yeah, man, you need to get on it.
Sorry. Tough men of faith.
So your phone, a tool. You
Yeah.
can also use it. You called me today to check on me.
I did.
To see how he's doing, right? So that was a way using your phone as a tool to encourage me.
Yeah. I don't know if I was trying to encourage you. I was just trying to make sure you weren't discouraged.
Oh, okay. Well, in the process, you encourage.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. So I just think like with our phones, we got to be careful that I think sometimes in our world when we talk about it, it's always like, don't look at pornography.
Yeah.
Don't constantly be on social media. Don't be scrolling the news all the
Right.
time. Like, no, don't do those things. Or at least
But-
don't look at pornography.
Yeah.
Reels are okay occasionally. But
But look at the good that you can use
good
it
that you
for.
can use it for.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, that's something I've been looking at. Like, I don't use it as a tool enough. Like, there's guys in my life that I want to encourage more. And this past week, I was thinking, why don't I just
I know.
send out a
I haven't
text?
gotten one phone call.
Takes me, yeah, I know.
So here we
And
are.
it takes like 30 seconds, right, to send a text. And
You probably prayed for me not to shoot a deer this weekend because I didn't show up to your church service.
You always say that. You're always like, I didn't get a deer because RT prayed I don't get a deer.
Right.
That's your lousy excuse for being a lousy shot.
Great. Here we are.
Tired of people coming up to me and saying, why didn't you pray for a deer? Nick's not going to have anything to eat this winter.
Right? Nuts and berries.
Nuts and berries. Yeah. All right. Just kidding.
Yeah, not.
All right. We're ready to go to number
Yeah,
3.
item number 3.
It's been a fun episode.
It's getting there.
I was reading this week, and it had this thing that said that something like,
On your phone?
yeah.
Okay.
This is an instance of using your phone for good.
Okay.
I have a notes section of everything I learned.
Oh, nice.
So I get to teach you now.
Here we go.
So I found this convicting.
Okay.
Like many guys will drop anything if their boss asks them to do something.
Will they?
A lot of guys will.
Oh, okay.
Like, well, okay. I think there's a certain breed of guys who are driven
Yeah.
that wants to move up the corporate ladder
Oh, yeah.
or wants to do well at work because they want the promotion. They want to look good.
Yeah.
They'll drop
I
anything.
just want the extra money. I don't
The
really
extra
want
money, whatever it is.
promotion. Yeah.
Right? They'll drop
You
anything
can keep all the promotions.
for their boss, but wouldn't do the same thing for their wife or kids.
I'm not convicted by that.
You're not?
Nope. Anything my wife asks, I'd take care of it. Pretty
Well-
much. So it's going to be a short one.
Well, some of us found this more convicting. Because
Maybe my wife just doesn't ask for much, so that's it.
Yeah. I found this one convicting. And I
Okay.
think there's probably some other guys who do.
Yeah, maybe I find a little conviction
Maybe
in
this
it.
is just for our team.
Maybe this is how I just laugh it off, because I don't do
Maybe.
conviction so well.
You do pretty well. You usually let me know
Yeah.
when you feel convicted. I was thinking about it like, especially like when I used to work for this financial firm.
Okay.
I worked there for about 10 years.
Oh,
And my
so
goal
how
was,
you got all the money?
I don't have any money.
That's where all the money went.
Yeah. My goal was to move up the ladder, be a director,
Yeah,
CEO of the company one day.
right.
And so it was moving up, at my levels
Yeah.
fairly quickly. But I was putting in a lot of early mornings,
Right.
late nights. If they needed
Is this
some,
like an investment firm?
no, it was like
Oh.
just a financial, just a lot of different things. Big company.
Okay.
So
I thought you were doing like some backdoor trading deals or something.
no, I was doing a lot of like risk assessments and
okay.
risk mitigation and that type
Okay.
of department.
Yeah.
But I don't want to bore you with that.
Yeah, right.
But I was putting in all the work,
Yeah,
everything that was asked because I really want to like keep moving up.
Yeah.
And I did. But now looking back, it's been 15 years or so since I've worked there. No one remembers those early mornings and those late nights
yeah.
that I put in, except
Your wife and your
Karen
kids.
does.
Yeah.
My kids weren't really around then or too young to remember.
Okay.
But if you ask Karen about my time there,
Yeah.
she'll let you know I used to leave at 4 in the morning,
She's glad it's over.
get home at 10 at night.
Okay.
But those managers and things that I worked for and
Yep.
got them some big bonuses because I
Right.
saved them some money. They don't even probably remember me.
Yeah.
But I would
I
do
mean,
anything.
You're pretty unforgettable, but
Yeah, I don't know about that.
okay.
But the only ones who's going to remember those late nights,
Yeah.
all that work is your wife and
Yep.
kids.
My wife constantly reminds me of it from when I had the drywall company, all the late
Yeah.
nights and weekends and early mornings. And
Yeah.
she constantly reminds me of it.
But here's the thing,
So
like,
anytime I talk about working a little extra, she's like, nope, you
Yeah.
promised you'd stop doing that.
yeah. So I just think, being cognizant of, hey, are you willing to do anything for your boss?
Yeah.
But if your wife or kids ask you,
Yeah. We
You're
treat
out.
them the same way.
yeah,
And they're the ones that really matter in the end.
yeah.
Yeah.
Number 4, you ready?
Yeah.
There has never been a point scored from the stands.
Okay.
Here's what I was thinking on that.
Somebody else stand on the sidelines,
People on the sidelines.
get engaged.
There are plenty of armchair like quarterbacks in
Oh, yeah.
even in life.
Yeah.
But the problem is, like, I don't feel like I need to be concerned with those who aren't even on the field playing.
Right.
So you
It's
can
kind
be
of like don't take advice from people you wouldn't give advice to.
probably something like
Okay.
that. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like there's a lot of people have opinions.
Yeah.
But if they're not invested in my life, if
Right.
they're not even in the same game I'm in,
Yep.
they're just kind of in the stands.
Yeah, their opinions don't
Like-
really matter.
We live in Indianapolis.
Right.
So you go to some Colts games. I'm really not much of a I'm trying to become more of a sports fan.
Okay.
I'm listening to sports talk radio now
Yeah.
every day.
Really?
Yeah, so I can at least have
I've been
intelligence.
listening to the Colts games on Sunday afternoons.
Have you?
Yeah.
I've been trying to watch them. I fall asleep every time.
Yeah, that's why I've been listening to it, so I can be active in doing something.
But I do know that who's the Colts
I have no
Colts coach? Shane Steichen.
idea. Yeah.
Like, he doesn't care what I think about
Right.
whether he should
Yeah,
punt the
about
ball or
about the
kick
plays
the
he
ball.
calls and
Yeah.
the way he coaches his team.
Or how many people go to Colts game? 80,000 people?
Yeah, probably.
80,000 people in there?
Yeah.
He doesn't care about what they think,
Nope.
right? So
He just cares that they show up and buy a ticket and enjoy
Yeah.
all the concessions.
they're in the stands. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter to him.
Right.
He cares what his offensive coordinator thinks.
Yeah.
He thinks what the players on the field
He
think.
cares what his boss thinks.
Cares what his boss thinks.
Yeah.
So I think that's true for us in life, is that, be careful who you're taking advice from.
Yeah.
or
There's
listening
a
to.
lot of people out there that want to give you an opinion on how you're doing things or why you're doing things or how you could do them better
Yeah.
in their eyes. And, like you said, be careful who you take advice from.
Well, and here's the thing, like, the Colts aren't winning every time. And so I can give them a hard time about, man, that quarterback doesn't know what he's doing. And,
Yeah.
he needs to toughen up and he needs to do this. And I can say a lot of things about him.
Yeah.
But at least he's out there competing.
Yeah, you'd be a good looking quarterback. All 6'1" of you.
Yeah.
190 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, man.
But I think we apply it to life. You may not be winning every time, but at least you're competing.
Right.
So when you get the critics like throwing insults and you should be doing this, doing
Yep.
that, like, hey, I'm in life. I'm trying to make a difference.
Yeah.
I'm trying to lead my family. I'm trying to make an impact in my community. I'm trying to do well at my job. I'm trying to share the gospel with people. I like the way I'm trying a lot better than you're not doing
Yep.
anything at all.
Yeah, exactly. And it's nice
So-
to have some haters. Lets you know that you're doing something right.
Yeah. That's
I like
true.
haters.
Yeah, we talked about that
Yeah.
with Moses this past week in a sermon. Just a little bit that
I wasn't there.
I know you weren't there, man. You're out there deer hunting, so you didn't get one. Led the church in prayer that you wouldn't see anything, you wouldn't get anything. Yeah, but the haters usually let you know you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Like when you start facing opposition.
Yeah, exactly.
Nehemiah on the wall. Remember the story of him building the wall?
I do.
People start making fun of him, like, hey, if a little fox comes and walks on your wall, it's going to fall down. He's
Yep.
like, I don't even have time to talk to you.
Right.
Because I'm building the wall.
Yeah, because I'm actually doing something.
So you're in the fans
Right.
yelling insults. So, yeah, that's number 4.
Yeah.
Number 5,
All
wrap
right.
this up. It's something along the idea that men, you need to make sure you come home with energy. I know what direction you're going to take this.
I'm not
I
going to
already
take
know
it
what
in any
direction you're going to
direction.
take this.
Yeah.
So, but before we get there, let's talk about some other areas.
If you have no energy,
No, wait, we'll get there. You'll get there.
I won't get there.
You'll
Go
say
ahead.
something. Like, think about if you have little kids at home. Like, my kids no longer, like, they're older now.
Yeah.
But when I had little kids at home, and after a long day at work, when I came home and came through that door, and they were home from preschool, or maybe they stayed home that day, or whatever they were doing, man, they've been waiting all day to see me.
Right.
And their favorite thing was we used to play this game. It's called.
Where y'all go hide and I
Yeah.
never come find
Yeah.
you.
It's actually probably not the best game to play, but we called it Mean Horse.
Okay.
And that's probably just a way for me to take my frustration out. But instead of, you know, like
Were
a
you
dad,
were you the bucking bronco on the living
basically,
room floor?
yeah.
Okay.
Instead of like just like giving my kids horseback ride,
Yeah.
I was looking for rodeo stars.
Right.
And so I'd be a mean horse, and then they would jump on. I'd throw them off, and I'd kick and bite them, you know, and just
Yeah.
like going around. That's like what you do if you see a mean bronco.
Yeah.
And so they would always want to play that when I got home.
Okay.
But a lot of times after a long day, like you just want to sit in a chair or
Yeah.
scroll through social media or
Right.
whatever. So I just think like as a man, like you need to make sure when you come through that door, you're coming through with your tank,
Yeah.
like something's still
And
in
make
it.
sure your energy matches whose energy's in the room.
Yeah. So don't act like your kids are an inconvenience
Yeah,
to
or
you
a burden.
or a
Right.
burden or your wife, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, you've been away from your wife all day.
Yep.
Hopefully she wants to see you.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
So come home with some
Energy.
energy. Come
Yeah.
home with some love, some joy, some happiness. Like,
Yeah.
man, I'm excited to see you guys, and let's eat dinner together. Let's
Yeah.
play a video game together. Let's
Yep.
whatever you do.
Don't
And
just
then,
veg out.
yeah,
Yeah. Come home and pay those people that love you most, the people that you're coming home to, pay them some attention.
yeah, and then you put the kids to bed.
Right.
Hopefully, you still have some energy.
Yeah.
That's,
Pay your wife some attention.
but you need to make sure you take some steps.
Yeah.
So that can happen.
Right.
So I think there's some practical things we've talked about. No. To make sure you can do it's like
Like you send flowers or something.
yeah, I mean, well, I was just thinking like personally, like if you're coming home every night, you come through the door, you are exhausted.
Yeah.
I think look at some things like, hey man, how are you eating?
Yeah.
Like what does your diet look
Are you
like?
taking care of yourself?
Are you exercising?
Right. Are you working out?
Are you working out? Are you way out of shape?
Yeah.
That's going to affect you. Are you getting spiritually renewed in the mornings?
Right.
Are you getting enough sleep at night? Are
Yeah.
you staying up all night playing video games
Yeah.
or
What's your
doing
walk
something?
look like throughout the day?
Yeah.
Are you, are you walking the right line?
Yep. So really to have that energy in the evening, you need to make sure that the night before you're getting ready for it.
Yep.
I can't with you.
What do you mean? I'm going
Can't.
to get ready for it. I'm going to get ready for tomorrow, tonight.
Can't. That's it, man. That's my 5 things.
That's all you got.
That's enough for today.
That's pretty good for today.
Like pick one of those
Yeah.
and work on it.
Yep.
That was to you, Nick.
I'm going to get a Red Bull,
No.
get some energy, and head home.
All right. We appreciate you guys joining us on
Yeah.
Tough Men of Faith. Hey, if you can, make sure to like it on Facebook, share the reels and the
Yeah.
video on YouTube and
X.
X.
Yep.
Yep. So, yeah, we're excited to keep doing this.
Yeah. Oh, Instagram.
We're on Instagram now.
I guess so.
All right.
All right.
See you on Instagram.
See you next time.
Insta.